funny Jamoran sign. Just your hands.
Just hands in the air.
Hands in the air. We don't know who is watching. But yeah. So the drafts were done, and San Antonio Spurs is a team that will be taking the next big thing in the NBA. So you would have heard of him, Wembayana. This is a 7 foot teenager filled with muscle.
That's a giant.
As in, his athleticism is amazing. He's not big like Shaq, but he's long. It's all I can say.
Giant. It's all I can say.
But he's such an amazing basketballer. He's doing everything right so far. He hasn't disappointed. Now, here's the thing though. The first person I saw hyped like this was Kobe Bryant. Then I saw LeBron James hyped like this. And both those guys delivered.
Yes, they did. Lived up to the hype.
They lived up to the hype. But this guy is French. That's where you know how the French can be.
Well,
they don't have that intensity. They came for soft life. They're exotic like that, like their language. But he is an amazing superstar already. So the San Antonio Spurs have hit the jackpot again. And if they hit that jackpot, it'd be amazing. Because last time they hit the jackpot with Tim Duncan in 1999, he went on to win 4 championships for them.
He did.
To have another jackpot, I don't know who they are praying to, but I want to pray to the person too, because that kind of luck
it's definitely needed.
It's definitely needed. But yeah, that one happened in the NBA. We also talk about the game 1 of the Western Conference Finals. Oh my goodness, it was beautiful to watch. But we'll be talking about that and all the problems involved, and then we'll also talk about the big game tonight.
Oh yes.
Who's going to face Inter Milan?
Who is going to be the obstacle?
Yeah, that's the question. So we'll be talking about that. And then we'll also talk about Manchester United and Liverpool's running. Did one person leave it too late? Or did one person drop the ball too early? That's what we'll be discussing. But we're talking about all of that after Ayo tells us how we can be a part of the locker room.
Yes, you can be a part of the locker room this morning by joining us on WhatsApp. Send a message 0809 440 981. You can also join us on YouTube. We're streaming live at Smooth 981 FM Lagos. You can also send a tweet if Twitter is your thing with a message and the hashtag Locker Room 981. Very simple. You can also call into the studio actually. 01 4489981. We'll let you know when we open the phone lines.
All right. So first of all, the headlines.
The headlines. All right. Denver survives as Los Angeles mounts a comeback in West Finals opener. Novak Djokovic beats Cameron Norrie to reach quarterfinals. Guardiola eyes Champions League flourish to exceptional Man City legacy. Leverkusen's attacking starlets face Roma block, chasing great goal in Europe. I liked everything about our win. That's Inter boss Inzaghi speaking there. And Liverpool maintain top 4 charge to push Leicester closer to relegation. Manager and player behavior not good enough. This is according to PGM World boss Howard Webb. And Women's Champions League final, Barcelona to face Wolfsburg sells out.
All right. So big ticket sales is the biggest in Netherlands. So it's not the biggest in football because the stadium, it's the stadium capacity, I think it's about 34,000. We've had higher numbers for women, but they've sold out the tickets, and that's a huge step if you are. It's a huge one. So all that talk about women's football, it's not really football. It's not really. You're talking to yourself. People are buying tickets. Better go and buy and watch good football. Especially if you're a Barcelona women's fan, because the men do not do well in Europe. The women do.
Well, the women are doing.
They are dominating.
We can say the same for Chelsea women.
Yes, you can also say it. But yeah, it was Barcelona that knocked out Chelsea women. So yeah. So if you're a Chelsea fan and you're looking for some respite, just follow your women's team. Leave those men alone for now. All right. So let's start from what happened in the Western Conference Finals in the US of A. Early hours of this morning.
All right, now the Denver Nuggets looked like they were going to run away with game 1 of the Western Conference Final after one half of basketball. And then, as the Lakers have done so many times this season, they fought back with stellar second halves from Anthony Davis. Austin Reeves gave the Lakers a chance.
I'm telling you, oh my goodness. So it's not like Denver Nuggets took their foot off the gas or anything. No, it's just that these Lakers,
they're just pushing them.
See, they have moments, the right moments. And so sometimes they are up and sometimes they are down. I don't know how that poem got into my head. But the thing is, there is no point in time you're playing a Lakers team that you should just get comfortable. Don't just think it. Because the Denver Nuggets were leading by 18 points. They had an amazing first half. Nikola Jokic scored the highest number of points in the first half of the playoffs. He was like, you know what, you couldn't vote me as MVP. I'm going to show you that I'm MVP. He had great stuff. He was passing, and that's the beauty of Nikola Jokic, because he's a center that plays like a four, like a point guard.
You were showing Joel Embiid
Yeah,
how to do it.
yeah, because he's not. When you stop him from shooting, his passing is amazing. He finds his guys in the most beautiful form in places that you don't even know that he has. So amazing, Steve Nash like passing. And they had a brilliant first half, and then they're playing at home, the crowd is pumping, everybody thinks, okay, this is going on, at least get one game in. If you win your first game at home, you can set the tone for the rest of the playoffs. That's how these Lakers, like the village people that they are, just came back in the second half. And I could see it coming. And this is what I tell people, like I say, defense is what wins you championships. Great offense will win you games. But if you're going
Great
to take the
defense.
trophy, then you have to have defense. And that's what they didn't have. Because yes, they were leading by 18 points, but every time the Lakers went on the other end, they made a bucket, and it was lazy defending. It's not like the Lakers were outmaneuvering them or overpowering them. It's just lazy defending. Now Nikola Jokic is a tall guy, and yes, they like him to guard the rim, but he's not such a great defender. And so he's not going to put his body on the line like, nah, that's not Nikola Jokic.
That's not his
He's
thing.
not going to be physical with you. That's not Nikola Jokic. And so it's a little easy for you to blow by him. And once you blow by him, the post is open. Just make your bucket. And they're making buckets. And even the coach, Malone, saw it. And he called the timeout to try to rearrange it. As they come out from the timeout, Lakers score again. So, and that's where the problem was, because if you're not making stops, regardless of how you're doing on the other end, you are still leaving the team a lifeline. And so when your team doesn't make their own buckets, and this team is still making buckets, then you're at risk, because the Lakers now close down that 18-point gap to just a 3-point gap. And if LeBron did not miss his 3-point shot, we'll be talking about a completely different game. And so that's where what they have to work on. So the Lakers know that defensively they can take out these Nuggets. The Nuggets need to work on that, and that needs to be their strength. Unfortunately, it's something they've been struggling with all season. I think you can count how many games all season that they let their opponents score under 100 points, and that can be a problem.
That could be a problem, especially with this Lakers team and
This Lakers team.
LeBron and AD deciding, you know
It's-
what, we're going to do
Yeah,
something.
and
That's
you know
not
what?
going
When
to be
those
good.
two guys are not working hard, it is Schroeder, his Achambura. I don't know how those guys will be. That they can be pests, and that's
Yes.
where the problem is. So defensively, they have too many people that are ready to put their bodies on the line. On the Nuggets part, they have people that are shooting, but not enough bodies covering defensively.
That's something that
Yeah.
the Nuggets are really going to have to look at if you're going to, take this series. All right, let's head over to tennis. And Novak Djokovic criticized Cameron Norrie's behavior after the Briton hit him with a smash while his back was turned in their Italian Open match. What was that about?
I see. Novak Djokovic needs to get over himself. His back was turned, so he too didn't see what was happening. So he locked the ball over. First of all, he was playing Cam Norrie. I think everybody and their grandmothers knew that he was going to defeat Cam Norrie, even despite the fact that he was struggling physically with like a shoulder strain on it.
Okay.
Yeah, so he had to take a small medical break before the match. So he was one that delayed the start of the match. But he comes out for the match, and despite the fact that some people knew he was struggling with that, you knew that Cam Norrie was not going to be the opposition that would take him out. Cam Norrie is great when he can put in the fight, but he lacks just that quality to extend Novak Djokovic. However, they get on court and he's trying his best, he's doing his thing. Now Djokovic lobs the ball. Cam Norrie is looking up at the ball, and Djokovic turns his back. So Djokovic does not see that Cam Norrie doesn't even see where he is. And so Cam Norrie smashes the ball. It's completely accidental.
His eye was on the ball.
His eye was on the ball. Djokovic's back was turned. So when he smashed the ball, it hits Djokovic on the ankle. And Djokovic turns around. You know how they do it. Cam Norrie, he will apologize and he just walks away. And Djokovic just walks back to the net like he wanted to warn Cam Norrie about something. Like, dude, you didn't even see what happened. You can't be You can't be saying people are badly behaved, especially not you. Not you,
Ah,
Novak Djokovic.
pot
You
calling kettle
do you
black.
understand? You cannot. You that when they are beating you, that's when you be stretching and pretend that there's something in your spirit that is not sitting right. Look, so he not complain about that. He complained about Cam Norrie shouting "come on" when he made a point. Cam Norrie is playing one of the best players in tennis. If he makes a point, it's worth celebrating.
Is he supposed to be quiet?
See missing. I don't even understand. So Novak Djokovic, I just think he was trying to make an antelope. There's not a molehill out. Sorry,
A mountain onto
a
a
mountain
molehill.
out of a molehill. There's nothing, absolutely nothing that Cam Norrie did to him. That was he was just finding bones to pick. It was very unnecessary, if you ask me. But yeah, he won his match. And he's through. This is one of the grounds. I think he's a six-time champion. Yeah, this is one of the grounds that he is also equally dominant. So he's one of those likely to win, especially after Carlos Alcaraz was
Was
knocked
knocked
out
out.
by 135 rank. I watched that match and I was telling people, I said Carlos Alcaraz did not have a bad day. It's not that he had a bad day. That guy beat him like thief. It was look, it was on every point. I kid you not. That's why I like Carlos Alcaraz. He's also honest because after at the end of the match, he said in his post match, he said he was aggressive on every point. He was hitting between the lines. I tried, but there was nothing I could do. He didn't lie and say, "Oh, I had one backache."
My leg was
Oh,
paining
he
me.
said the guy made me uncomfortable, and I saw it during the match.
He wanted it so
The,
bad.
the guy said, look, you know how they say he that is down needs fear no fall. The guy had no reputation to keep. He had nothing to lose, so he went all out. Now that guy could go out and lose hopelessly in his next match.
That's the ironic thing.
But this thing that he did, he will never forget.
It's on record. It's on record. He defeated Carlos Alcaraz. Nobody can take that away from him.
You can't. All right, so let's take one more story before.
Yes. Let's talk about Man City here and Pep Guardiola, who says his legacy as Man City boss is already exceptional as the English champions aim to finally turn their domestic dominance into European glory.
All right, so here's it. It was a question that he was asked, because everybody keeps thinking that he needs this Champions League as a Manchester City coach to be like a crowning glory on his head, because he hasn't won the Champions League without Barcelona, and he's tried with many great teams. Now, unlike some other coaches, Pep Guardiola, it's only the cream of the crop that employ him. He only picks the fine girls in the party. There's no, that's it. So it's not like a Mourinho that's coming with an FC Porto on out of position Inter Milan to come to win the Champions League. He has teams at their best, from Bayern Munich, now Manchester City, and everybody just saying, so you need a Messi to win. So he's the magic wand. So that was the question, but he's not like, no, that he doesn't care what people think. He already has an exceptional career, but he just wants to win this to add. I'm like, dude, you don't. Because if you lose this championship today to Real Madrid, you are finished. You will go on another sabbatical.
Even if he gets past Madrid
and he doesn't
loses to Inter in the final,
finished.
But do you think before going to break, do you think that he's under pressure? Despite all these cool guys.
Oh no. He's under pressure. He's under pressure because he said something. He said, don't worry, I'm not overthinking anything. I'm going to set out my team well to play it. I was just like, so you two, you have bought into that marketing PR of I'm not overthinking. Sometimes he's completely outsmarted, but people just say, oh, he was overthinking, that's why. No, he was not overthinking. So he's under pressure. He knows he's under pressure, but he knows the right things to say. And he knows his team has to do the work today. The good news is that for the first time in a while, I think this is a season Manchester City can do it.
They actually have a strong feeling. But hey, first of all, let them get past Madrid and then we can talk about it.
That Madrid is it. So what if they get past this Madrid? It would be it. That for me, because you watch the Inter Milan game and we're going to talk about it later. And they don't look like the opposition. But we'll talk about that after the break.
All right, stay tuned. Pep, becoming cool guy, but it's a lie.
It's a lie. In his mind there, like this, he's shaking. He's like, Jesus, please don't let them disgrace me.
Because truly, that Champions League, Man City wants it bad.
Yeah.
They've won everything.
Yeah. And they spent the money for it. Billions. And you've had, look, I'm telling you, if Pochettino had his team, we would have won Champions League. What are you saying?
I mean, they've had, they get to the final, semi-final. Okay, was it 2 seasons? Was it last season that they lost to Madrid? That Madrid came back.
Yes.
Then so they lost to Chelsea before that.
And that was the Madrid that people thought you can't. Surely this team can win again. After, they can't be coming back every time I'm winning. They came back and won. Tega is playing in the studio. But they came back and won. So yes, He's afraid. He's just saying the right things. Ah, Tega he's afraid he's saying the right things.
I actually feel that they'll win that treble. I don't want them to, but I actually feel that
I
they
don't
will.
know that. I don't know that Manchester City. So who did they face Brighton next at home at Brighton's home?
No,
Um,
it's Chelsea.
is it Chelsea first or
Chelsea.
Brighton? Okay, Chelsea this weekend, then Brighton on Monday. No, Brighton on Wednesday. I know that Manchester City. Is it Manchester City? Wow, I know that Manchester City is playing Brighton.
Is this playing Brighton?
Yeah, away.
Let me check. Because I know this weekend they will slap Chelsea.
No. So
I
it's
strongly believe they'll
midweek.
slap
It's
Chelsea.
midweek because you know they have a game in hand.
Let me check England.
They have a game in hand. Just do Man City, Brighton, Man City.
England. Man City. Fixtures. Chelsea, then Brighton away.
Yeah, they're playing Brighton next
Chelsea,
week. So that's the
Brighton.
game. So I mean, it's not Chelsea. It's not Chelsea.
No, but if beat Chelsea, it's done.
Yeah, if they beat Chelsea, it's
It's
done.
done.
Yeah.
That's the thing. And I have a feeling that they will slap Chelsea.
No, they are definitely beating Chelsea like thief. Because win or lose against Real Madrid, if they lose, they are coming back with vengeance. If they win, they are coming on a high. Either way.
And I really believe that they're going to slap Man United in that FA Cup final.
Yep.
Ah,
The wounding may not be
oh
here.
my God. I'm not looking forward to it.
The wounding will not be here. So the only hope is Real Madrid. The treble is
But
happening.
there just seems to be something about City this season that is
Yeah,
just saying.
I say it. It's not talent. There's a determination and a focus that has, and a steel that has come in, and which is why I say at the end of the day, all these things come down to mindset. There's a stillness in the way they move that will tell you that these people are winning.
Look at PSG after all the billions and billions.
They didn't buy well now. They just bought only big three. There's no midfield. There's no defense.
Yeah, that's what
So
is terrible.
yeah.
That's what is terrible.
We'll come back with this message.
You're still in the locker room on Smooth 98.1, your love music, love life station. Tega and Ayo are getting you into the stories, making the rounds. And let's go to WhatsApp. Oh, before I read the message, you can be part of the locker room by sending your messages via WhatsApp on 0809 440 981. We're streaming live on YouTube as well at Smooth 981 FM Lagos. And when the time is right, we'll open up the phone lines for you to get your thoughts across. 014489 All right, let me take this message from Tayo. Tayo says, I'm more worried by the number of Nigerian players in EPL relegation and struggling against relegation. We have to call Idon to the rescue. I'm not sure which Idon exactly
I don't
you
even
are
know.
referring to.
You're going to have to tell me what this thing means eventually, but we'll talk about that. Let's get to the story so that we can quickly talk about what's happening with Leicester.
Yes, what's happening with
Let's start with Europa first.
With Europa League. That is Leverkusen and Roma.
Yeah.
So Leverkusen host Roma on Thursday. That's tomorrow. Knowing their way to the Europa League final goes through Jose Mourinho's expertly parked bus. The Roma hold a narrow 1-0 lead, but anything can still happen.
Yes. So as short as it seems, it is a very open tie. And you know the guys of Leverkusen, they're very expressive in their football. Alonso plays a very expansive football, but he also has that mindset, that disciplined mindset of still having a solid defense. Now, before Roma got their one goal last week,
that was sweat for
it was blood and sweat. And even then, Leverkusen had opportunities to score. Like I said, just a little bit of quality wasn't there. However, they're playing in Germany tomorrow, and that makes it completely different. And sometimes you don't even know the team you're going to meet. So yes, you say Jose Mourinho's expertly packed was, but it's not the same team. They don't have the players, and those players are error prone. They make mistakes. So you watch Roma team and you think that yes, surely you can get one up on them. I think the only reason people are giving Roma a chance in this Europa League final is Jose Mourinho. It's not the players are on the pitch to execute the job, and that's what Leverkusen can take advantage of. Because at the end of the day, Jose Mourinho can outsmart Alonso tactically, but the guys that will execute it,
That's the thing. I mean, you might have the plan in your head, but if your
Yeah.
body is not agreeing with your
Yes.
head,
So at the end of the day, one error here, one wrong foot there, one poor referee call too here, and
that also
the tie is completely turned around. So yes, huge one for Roma to try and get into the
into the
finals.
finals.
Remember that they won the conference
Conference
league
League the
last
season
time,
before, so
and then they are also struggling to get into top four. So this may be their only direct path to
back to
UEFA
the
Champions
Champions
League
League
next
next
season.
season.
So
All
it's
right,
an
we'll see
important
how
one.
that plays out tomorrow. I think the other semi-final as well, Juventus and Sevilla,
And Sevilla
1-1.
1-1 tied there. And yes, everybody says that Sevilla are the Europa Champions League merchant, but the way that they gave up that last minute goal,
Hmm. He might come back to haunt
yeah, it
them.
might
We'll
come back
see.
to haunt them.
All right, let's talk Champions League. And Inter Milan coach Simone Inzaghi said he had been impressed by every facet of his team's extraordinary journey to the Champions League final after they beat AC Milan 3-0 on aggregate yesterday.
All right, so a lot of people just think that this particular tie, AC Milan against Inter Milan, the derby, is just providing an opponent to the eventual champions of the
That's
Champions
what many
League.
have said.
That's what a lot of people have said. But look, you have to before for you to get to the final, you've done a great job. Because think about the teams that have fallen out to teams you didn't expect them to beat. So yes, you can say their path seemed a little easier, getting to the final, but there's nothing easy about AC Milan facing Inter Milan. Nothing easy about that rivalry. This one didn't end like the last time. This match was completed, but the scoreline was kind of the same. 3-0 over two legs. But yes, in this tie especially, Inter Milan completely dominated against AC Milan. The same way they shockingly, you know, just progress all the way to the semi-final. So
Mm.
yes, you can say that their road was easier. Yes, you can say that it was cheaper, but they have been impressive to get all the way to the final, and you have to applaud that. Now, again, football is played on the pitch, and you don't know what will happen on the day of the final. So as much as the favorites to win the Champions League seem to be coming from the Real Madrid, Manchester City tie, at the end of the day, on that final day, if Inter Milan come with some crazy,
Mm.
or
Anything can happen.
simple football, anything can happen. So they have an opportunity to roll the dice. That's the
They
most
do,
important thing.
but Tega, can we really say that Inter had such an easy ride? I mean, they had to get through the Portuguese giants, Porto, Benfica, then city rivals Milan as well.
Yeah, it's easier compared to the other side.
I'll take your word for it. All right, let's talk Premier League stories now. Liverpool maintained their pursuit of Champions League football next season and pushed Leicester City ever closer to the championship as Curtis Jones scored twice in a 3-0 win at the King Power on Monday. Tega, I saw this game and Leicester didn't seem like they were fighting for anything
Yeah,
at all.
apart from the fact that they were fighting themselves and losing, that's what they were fighting. They were fighting themselves and losing. Really tough one. So first of all, I'm going to talk about Manchester United Liverpool because that's the fight that's hit up. So remember how Liverpool, I was even saying, I haven't said it on the show. Fire your gang club. Let him go back to his village. You know, and somehow
Just,
after that disaster of the first half of the season,
just woke up.
they woke up after the World Cup. They're like, you know what? We have nothing. No World Cup, no FA Cup, no.
Nothing.
And they came to fight for top four. Now, because they are on the outside, they need that Champions League spot back. They wouldn't like to be in Europa, so they're going to fight for it, and they're doing a brilliant job. Unfortunately, I think it may be a dollar short. Because I still think that Manchester United have the edge. However, Liverpool have a look in. Now, we come to the other side of the table where Leicester City, with all the players they have. Now, I say it, if you have money, just go to the gate of Leicester City and wait. Because their players are plenty to pick. Think Madison, Castagna, Harvey Barnes, Tillemans.
Ricardo Pereira isn't bad.
That one has gone. No. That one has gone. Don't think him far. Uh-huh. Who else again in that team? There are quite a few to pick. Now, here's the thing about people will now ask me, why haven't you mentioned the Nigerians? Because they haven't been impressive. Let's talk true. There's a reason we didn't go to World Cup. They haven't been impressive. We have Wilfred Ndidi is a good player on his day, but he's had a horrible
this season hasn't been it.
Kelechi Iheanacho really plays chairman football. So yes, he's come in once or twice. He's scored some important goals for them, but the kind of player you're looking for is not the one that scores goals every Christmas. You know, you have a 38 match season, you want a striker that scores at least 60% of those matches, not the one that comes scores, you know, only when the sun shines.
And it was so apparent that Leicester City were in dire straits when Jamie Vardy had to come back into the team.
Yeah,
Jamie Vardy was out
out
of
of
the
the
team.
team. They now said they had to find somebody. So that's the problem. So I'm not mentioning Nigerians, and that's a lot of Nigerians. Because think, even in Southampton, if you wanted to go and plunder Southampton now, it's not Joe Aribo or Paul Onuachu that you say has they are disposed of all. No, they're probably at the bottom of the list for you to pick. And then you come to Leicester City and we have the same thing. And that's not all, because in Everton we also have Nigeria. You're seeing how this thing is playing out.
What is going
then
on
if you
here?
now, you now go to Nottingham Forest, there's Nigerian there. It's like Nigerians just took their teams to relegation. What is it with you people, Seth? It's your gender. Because my gender, they are in the Champions League final of the Women's Champions League. That's all I will say. Your gender is in relegation battle in the APL. It's your gender.
Tega, let's.
On that note,
Tega, what's up? So Tayo says that if Pep with all these Man City gadgets loses this UEFA moment, then Yaya Toure is still sitting on his matter. But what I find interesting is Federico Valverde saying he wants Madrid to win it a 15th time so that it would match his jersey number. Madrid have exhausted reasons to win.
I'm telling you.
I actually envy Madrid big time. This is Chinwe. Chinwe says, it just dawned on me now that Inter Milan were matched with Bayern Munich and Barcelona in the Champions League group stage.
Yeah.
They are now in the Champions League final. What a story. Amika says, Leicester City sold the likes of Harry Maguire and Ben Chilwell for huge amounts of money and didn't make commensurate investments in their squad. Now the likes of Vardy, Indeed, and Iheanacho will be playing in the championship.
That's if they'll be there. All right. So those are important points, because yes, that's what they were doing. They were a club that would raise stars and then sell stars. Remember, N'Golo Kante also came from this. They'll raise stars, sell stars, and it was only great whilst they were, you know, in the Premiership. But if a team goes down to the Championship, the value diminishes. I mean, the desire to get the player is still there, because you know that the player is a good player, quality player, but you know the value just drops.
They need to go and ask Benfica for tips on how they do it.
Yeah, exactly. How and Dortmund too. Dortmund have lost some good players, but see, they're still standing. Leverkusen too.
Let's quickly talk Women's Champions League final here. Now the Women's Champions League final between Barcelona and Wolfsburg has sold out, the first to do so since 2010.
All right, so this is my gender now I'm going to be talking about. You see how my gender is now in the final.
Tega, let's talk about
we have to talk about everything now. So first of all, we'll talk about it being sold out. Like I said, it's not the biggest attendance that you'll see in women's football, but the fact that it is sold out, it shows that more eyes are now coming onto even club football. So that's what you want. It's easy to say World Cup because you're selling to countries, so there's a different level of pride in countries. But when people start to take note of women's football at club level, that changes the game completely, and that's what's happening here. If you can sell out, and I'm sure there'll be more eyes even on the TV viewing. We're going to hear those numbers maybe after the match, but this is a huge step to show that women's football is selling. It's a completely different market. So if you're not playing in the men's football, you can play in women's football, completely, and still make a profit. So big one there. But on the other note, Asisat is here. Asisat is going to play, and she's not just a fringe player. She's not making up the numbers. She's a star player.
She is. And
what do you want to tell your gender now?
No, leave my gender. Aren't the Falcons going to the World Cup this year?
Yeah.
Fantastic. So go Falcons, go women.
Again. You see, I like what you're saying. Now you are talking. Now you have admitted. Where the other side?
I didn't admit anything. I'm not supporting. Go women. That's all.
Leave this studio. Good night. I'll read my messages myself. Go. We are not talking to you. You don't like to tell truth. Tayo says, and we'll use Tayo's message to round up because we're out of time. He says, so
Mkhitaryan, Damian, and Lord Lukaku are one step closer to winning UEFA Champions League than Man United in donkey years. The Angels scripting this level of trolling deserves a salary raise. Tayo, I will not read the messages again. Tayo, you are blocked.
And Elke Aderegwa says, Tega, well done. We are on YouTube. Just see how you just brushed past Chelsea. Our God will fight for us. We will shock you. Shock me by beating Manchester City. If you beat that Manchester City, I'll be shocked for that. I will never say anything bad about Chelsea, at least till the end of the season.
We'll all be shocked.
We'll all be shocked. All right, and that's it. So we'll leave the studio now for Ayo to continue in his shock.
Thank you so
We'll
much,
see you on
Tega.
Friday.
All right, see you on Friday. That's all we have for the locker room. But do stay tuned. At 9 o'clock will be time for you to get talking Lagos on Lagos Talks. Stay with us.
Guy, you go.
He's not good. Okay.
You don't put it's not good for inside.